Telco giant Safaricom now says it's fully prepared to provide the necessary infrastructure during the 2022 general election. The company says it has rolled out 4G connections to 98% of the country's geographical coverage to enhance relaying of results to the national tallying centers. In a wide-ranging interview with Citizen TV's Faisal Ahmed, CEO Peter Ndegwa also spoke about Safaricom's expansion into Ethiopia, saying that the plans are still on despite the turmoil witnessed in the neighboring country.
8 months to the general elections, telco giant Safaricom has allayed any fears of glitches or delays to its systems, similar to what was witnessed during the 2017 general elections, which led to the then opposition leader Raila Odinga asking his supporters to boycott the telco. Safaricom CEO Peter Ndegwa blamed the 2017 glitches on system delays due to poor connectivity of 4G at the time, now saying that they have covered almost the entire country.
The biggest difference between now and in the past is that connectivity is in a much better place. We have 4G everywhere. So I would expect that all the companies in this sector will play their role as they have played in the past. We are a large organization. We are required by law to support that process of transmitting elections. So we will play that role. And we can't run away from an important public duty that we have as the largest organization.
Which is just coming. And on their latest venture into Ethiopia, Ndegwa stated that despite the turmoil witnessed in the country over the last few months, they're still optimistic that a truce will be reached ahead of their launch mid-next year.
Again, put your hands together.
However, he has stated that they have no plans to postpone the launch as they have already applied for a mobile money license from the Ethiopian regulators.
We are still retaining our intention to launch by mid-next year, and we continue to operate and prepare for that launch mid-next year. And we are working with all the partners that we have in place, including some of our employees working remotely, to make sure that we are ready to launch mid-next year. Of course, there were some risks that we saw as we went into the country, some of which will come and go. But for us, we see Ethiopia, the investment in Ethiopia as a long-term play.
To get the operating license for the Ethiopian market, Safaricom had to borrow more than 40 billion shillings to finance this, which saw their debt skyrocket to over 75 billion shillings from 14 billion shillings in 2020, a move Ndegwa says aided the company in securing the Ethiopian license. He added that the increased debt should not worry shareholders as it does not put the telco in any financial distress.
Investing in Ethiopia allows us to ensure that we have a balance of equity and debt on our balance sheet. The reason why we borrowed is to be able to pay our proportion of the license fee. Remember, a license fee for the Ethiopia operation is 850, of which our shareholding is about 55%. So we borrowed $400 million in order for us to be able to settle that license fee. So of course, the future will mean that we will have a combination of equity, which is what we have invested, and also debt. And we'll continue to inform investors on where that lands. At the moment, when you look at our total borrowing, to what we call earning before interest and tax and depreciation and tax, is still very low compared to other companies in our sector. So we believe we are within very acceptable levels of borrowing. It's well approved within by both our board and our shareholders.
Of the investor.
While reporting their annual financials, Safaricom said that Fuliza now has 1.7 million daily customers. In that period of time, Safaricom had disbursed over 242 billion shillings through Fuliza. However, Ndegwa stated that this accounted for only 5.4% of the business, but they are working with the central bank to increase the provision and expand the overdraft facility, and could soon feature for businesses as well.
I know there is a headline number that goes around, and people probably think that Fuliza is much bigger than it is. Fuliza is only 5.4% of our M-Pesa revenue as at the end of H1, which was end of September 2001. And the majority of our revenue is transaction, the peer-to-peer transfers, so people transferring money from one person to the other. The withdrawals at agents, I've talked about 250,000 agents. We've also seen a lot of increase on the payment side. Lipa na M-Pesa merchants have increased significantly. But Fuliza is only 5.4% of the total revenue. But Fuliza is also very important because it is about convenience. So when a customer can't complete a transaction, we give them the opportunity to complete. So Faiza, you know, if you go, you go for your monthly shopping, where you shop for a lot. But during the week, you'll go across to your kiosk to buy for something to give you the convenience because you've run out. So,
on the question of Safaricom's dominance, Ndegwa stated that they should not be punished for investing heavily in infrastructure that has made them market leaders. He also stated that the calls to split Safaricom's GSM business and mobile money service M-Pesa will not happen as the two businesses are codependent.
Of course, we've benefited from our customers being loyal to us. Our customers continue to use digital services during COVID, and COVID has accelerated that. So we should not be punished for being for investing and for being successful. We should be encouraged to continue to be successful, and that's one of the reasons why we are going to be in Ethiopia. We have made the largest investment by a Kenyan company in a foreign country. So that's a good thing. In terms of how we run the business, we have separate departments that run the GSM business from M-Pesa business. Recently we had the last year we formed what we are calling M-Pesa Africa, which we bring together all markets that have M-Pesa, including the Vodacom market, and invest in technology together.
The Safaricom chief stated that the company's venture into 5G earlier in the year is expected to grow in the next 6 months, and they will have over 200 sites in place to boost connectivity. However, the biggest challenge remains access to 5G devices for its customers. Faisal Ahmed, Citizen TV, Nairobi.